rent was €5 for a 2-bedroom apartment during hyperinflation in Romania. I know because my father was renting one of them out. And they paid for quite a long time just €5 a month, and we were very happy with that. Now, what can you learn from that? The thing is that because we went through hyperinflation and I paid attention, even though I was a young child back then, and because my father had some knowledge about how the economy works and how rents and how prices change, I'm probably able to share some knowledge with you that no one else on the internet is willing to. Probably they would be able to if they would have paid attention, but it's just probably not in their best interest to share it with you. So, for instance, right, they keep telling that assets during hyperinflation go up in value. And it's a yes and no, because it goes up in price. However, value can be more relative. So while the apartment that we had and we rented out and bought another apartment during hyperinflation went up in Romanian lei terms, nominally in price, actually the value of it was falling, right? So we were able to acquire more as the price of them was still skyrocketing. But for instance, compared to gold, compared to food, compared to our labor cost and all that good stuff, it was actually falling quite fast. Now, €5 was pretty good per month, but it wasn't enough to, would not be enough to pay off like a mortgage or something like that with that, right? So think about it this way. We were happy to rent out the apartment in hyperinflation, even if we wouldn't have gotten anything for it, because at least it was being kept up. Now, the key for that is that you pay off the mortgage as soon as possible during the early phases of hyperinflation, before the government comes up a scheme how they can transfer your previous past mortgages or loans into the new system, because by that time they will recalculate everything. But if you have enough quote-unquote cash on hand, not the cash that is hyperinflating, right? And we were lucky because we were able to acquire euros. And for instance, my father-in-law was able to, back then it wasn't even euros, it was Deutschmark, by the way. I just put it in modern context. But anyway, they were able to acquire Deutschmark for their labor. And with that cash currency, which was not hyperinflating, offset the hyperinflating currency, the Romanian lei, they were able to pay off the house that they lived in with 2 months' wages, right? But if they would have waited for a year, 2 years, 3 years for that, in the meantime, right, they would not be able to do that. Another tidbit of knowledge here, if that money would have been in a bank, which would have been frozen, right, for 2 years, which it was, that amount would not be able to pay off either, because the bank would freeze the amount for a banking holiday, right? So you had to be able to have cash outside of the system that's not hyperinflating. And this is where probably Bitcoin, gold, foreign currencies and all of that stuff comes in that nobody tells you about. They just say, yeah, buy assets, buy assets. Well, what do you buy the assets with? When do you buy it? When do you buy it, and how do you plan to keep it? Because taxes we still had to pay. However, taxes, even though they went up tenfold, 30-fold, just like how the apartment price didn't keep up with regular costs of food, the taxes didn't keep up with that either, because it was based off of the price of the apartment. So actually, yes, if you have apartments in nice places or houses in nice places in sort of a semi-small town that's still actually working, that wasn't tied to the boom and bust, whatever happened, right? And you're not relying on big government related institutions to pay your renters salary, then you're going to be probably doing okay. But that just means you're going to probably be okay enough to hold on to it. And if you had some other assets, to pay it off during hyperinflation and maybe acquire more. But the price, or as in the value of the apartment, won't really appreciate in terms of real actual value until the the end of hyperinflation. But it's way, way better than to keep it in a bank or keep it in the currency that's hyperinflating. So the knowledge here is to have at least some part of your money outside of the system, right? Outside of the system, because when the system crashes, you'll be able to fill in the gaps, that the vacuum basically that the system left. And with that, you'll be able to take opportunities, especially in the city area, which usually is kept up by big government anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that knowledge, and if you want to learn more about that stuff, do join the channel and do join the membership, because I will be sharing more and more actual facts and knowledge for the YouTube members. So thank you very much. Remember to follow me and post questions, because I have a plan to answer 500 questions on this channel. Talk to you next time.